Hey, good Sunday morning. Hey, from Scott. And on that last video I did, I got a message that is very disturbing. I mean, I knew I'd get a lot of messages, but nothing, I did not expect this. So I'm gonna get straight to it. Before I tell you this message, let me just tell you, this is in reference to that last video I did. Right now, as of this morning, and it's about a week old, maybe a week plus a day, it's had 70,000 views, approximately 500 comments. 98% of the public out there liked it, with 2% hating it. And I got some very ugly messages from probably someone in the auto industry. Don't know who they are. Sometimes I can tell who you are, sometimes I can't. Let's get straight to it. Let's get this phone open so I can read it. Here it is. Very disturbing, and I have no reason to doubt this message. It says, I was at I'm gonna go ahead and say it, a Ford dealership mechanic, and I gotta say, Ford is the most corrupt company ever. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think it's all of them, or most of them. I'm gonna say between 90 and 98% of the dealerships out there are nothing more than a den of snakes. That's my opinion. But back to the message. I was handed a can of spray foam and a can of undercoating to fix a recall on a Ford Windstar rear axle to prevent it from rotting anymore. Our service manager committed suicide and blamed the dealership as one of his reasons in his suicide letter. It's that bad. You know, it's got to be an unglamorous situation having to go to a place to where you absolutely have to steal, lie, and just convince people of things they don't need. And I'm going to jump ahead here. I remember some of the messages here. One of the messages I got is where a gentleman worked at a dealership. Someone came in for the 30,000 mile inspection, and he got in trouble because he didn't upsell all the fluid changes and all the extras that weren't even needed. This goes on all the time. This is nothing new, but this video proves that, or that last video I did, it just verifies what we all thought and what we all know. Now, here's the other side of that is, people are knocking the doors down at these dealerships, but I'm hoping they're just going in for warranty work, okay? So, anyways, let's get on to this here. I don't want to get into my opinions. I'm going to just read you facts or what's coming in. And this is just something here. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Now, this is a fact. At a dealership, everything is right now. It's not just today's numbers, this week's numbers, this month's year's numbers. They got people looking at that computer screen every minute, watching that graph to see how much cash flow is coming in. Hey, there are no ethics. There is no common sense or ethics. They are a den of snakes. I've had that even mentioned to me. Okay, so let's just put the paper down and let's just read some of the messages. Out of 500, I'm only gonna read a few to you. So if I have to pause for a second, it's because I'm just not going to go into a bunch of ramble. Let's see what it says here. Oh, here's a cool one. I worked for about a year at a Ford dealership, and it was a terrible experience. I routinely watched senior techs sell every possible fluid flush on a vehicle and just let the vehicle sit in their bay for about an hour, then pull it out and rake in the hours. I was fired because I refused to upsell brakes and fluid services on here it is, 30,000 mile service. It was a Taurus. I walked out with my head held high. There you go. There's a reason people don't stay. It's a good chance when you go back to a dealership in the repair end of it, may or may not see the same people twice. Let's see what this one is. That's New Jersey. These are coming in for actually some from the UK. Same thing over there. Let's see what this one says. I worked as a dealership tech decades ago. I try to be honest in my work and never scam or rip people off. However, the pressure for us to find as many problems or service recommendations for any customer's car was pretty much mandated by the service manager. People need to realize that the shop flat rate fee per hour and they charge the customers far above what they pay their techs. Well, I kind of knew that. They're charging, from what I'm gathering and the information I'm getting, we're now approaching $199 per hour. When you go to a dealership to have work done, the techs receive crumbs of that. I think that's where that story was going. Let's see here. I was a certified Ford tech for over 15 years. In addition to being a mechanic for 20 years prior, I left because of greedy ownership forcing technicians to upsell instead of addressing customers' concerns. Folks, this goes on and on and on. Oh, now here's another one. This is interesting. Took my RAV4 in for its first oil change. Got home and checked it. The oil was dirty as ever. Took it back and they did change the oil only because they got caught. Can't trust them. Folks, it's happening. And I'm going to tell you another place where they're getting you at. Hey, they'll go in there, and this is sick. They'll say, okay, we went ahead and changed your cabin air filter while we were in there. That's going to be $50, $60, $75. Two things are happening. They didn't even change it, or number one, it didn't need to be changed. I have seen it. And hey, some of these things have happened to me. Nothing new, but hey, we're just reaffirming what we all thought. And you know what, it's good, hey, even though we know it, maybe it's good to say, you know what, it's happening to everybody else. Gosh, I've got so many here, I just don't want to keep going. Let me just find a good one here and we'll get ready to call it. Now here's one kind of interesting. I worked at a Ford dealership also, and you're right on all points. Extremely overpriced parts and used vehicles with major issues sold to innocent buyers. Can you say EcoBoost? Here's a good example. I priced a front grille for my 2010 F-150, $500 my cost. Ordered a grille from another supplier, $86 my cost. Came in a Motorcraft box with a Motorcraft part number on the side, just like what we receive in shipping. Folks, this is sick what these guys are doing. But here's the thing, it's not a scam if you agree to it. Hey, if you go in there and know it, and you know they're gonna do it, it's not a scam. Hey, call it what it is. And here again, let me just say this, it's not Ford. I've had my deals with Toyota, Nissan, and probably the rest of them here. Let's get ready to wind this up. Golly, there's so many. Okay, I spent my whole life working 35 years at a Ford dealership. Parts. The flat rate system has basically killed the industry. Back in the late 80s and nearly 2000s, I made good money and able to buy homes, fund retirement. That is no longer the case, so I'm glad I'm out of it now. This goes back to this unglamorous job of being a service tech or a service manager or even a service writer at a dealership. Now, let me clarify one thing, all right? Not all dealerships are that way, and I know of two back in Jasper, Texas and Kirbyville, Texas. Hey, I'd go back today if I needed a vehicle. I can't say it enough. There's a reason I'm driving an older vehicle. Now, we have a couple of vehicles that are fairly new, but they're kind of for different occasions or vacations or whatever. Or one is actually for just pulling heavy loads. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't want to go hear the bull crap. I went in shopping in Brunswick, Georgia here about a month ago, just looking at something new. Wasn't sure if I wanted a car for back and forth to work or maybe a small truck. Went into the first place, 20-year-old guy who's got a little peach fuzz on his face at the most, can't even grow a mustache, was trying to give me this BS spill. And buddy, hey, I just finally said, hey, we got to go, see you later, I'll call you back later. I mean, they take these guys, and I guarantee he's not there now. I bet he didn't last 3 weeks. Went to another dealership, it was a little bit better, but my God, even for a 61-year-old guy here, man, they go through some training to pour the BS on you. It's all BS. Hey, that's a small fraction of what I got. If you want to see the rest of all these messages that came in, just go look at my last video. There's about 500 posts from people, and I tried to answer them all. If I didn't answer it back to you, I probably just missed it. Hey, thanks for listening. This is Scott. Don't get ripped off. Do your homework. If you need a mechanic, ask around. Don't get a second opinion. Get a third or fourth opinion. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you again.